It is new.
It is new. Supposedly you can recover from this helpful content update. It's brand new news to me.
Cool. Starting off spicy today.
Oh yeah, let's get spicy. Yesterday was kind of like a bland day, so I figured we just go right into it, into the spice and matzahs. That being said, Crystal, what do you got? What are you going to cover today?
I'm going to talk about signs that OpenAI might be launching a search engine.
Ooh. And Greg?
No activity on your keywords. They may start being paused.
And Mordy?
No recovery on your HCU? Maybe not, but no, not really.
And me? No coupons on your Forbes.com.
Yeah, so this was reported by this guy, Barry Schwartz, on Search Engine Roundtable. And there are some signs that are coming from someone called Ashutosh Shrivastava was saying that he's starting to notice some signs that that OpenAI may very well be launching their own search engine soon. They have a recent SSL certificate log that's showing search.chatgpt.com, which suggests that there might be a new search.chatgpt coming along. This is something that is really interesting because the search space has become a lot more busy since ChatGPT went mainstream, and Google has been responding to that. And also, you know, it's interesting to see that ChatGPT has jumped in. They've obviously been powering Bing's Copilot, new Bing, when it first came out as well. But it'll be interesting to see how people will respond if and when search.chatgpt drops.
For sure. I mean, I haven't used google.com since, ChatGPT launched. So
I was just thinking the other day, you know what I really need in my life to make it fulfilled? Another search engine run by another AI company.
And I think the other thing that's interesting is that Amazon also launched a Copilot sort of assistant tool as well. So I think that this space is really, really heating up in terms of spice, as we're talking about spicy things. And yeah, it should be an interesting another 12 months of AI extravaganza.
Looking forward to that launch. Supposedly it's going to launch in about a week or two, so we will see. Talking about things that may or may not launch, I'm not sure where to go with this, but Greg, what do you got?
Well, within Google Ads, there is a message that was sent out to many advertisers that would have this eligible for some keywords in their account. But if you have keywords that have 13 months of history and have 0 impressions over those 13 months, Google will start pausing these keywords. And if you want them back on, you have to unpause them manually. And then if you don't get an impression for another 3 months, Google's going to repause it again on your behalf. So there were a lot of people kind of making a huge commotion about this. I didn't get it. Like, if you have a keyword in your account and you got 0 impressions on it, like, who really cares? I guess the bigger thing is, like, now could it essentially move it from 13 months at some point lower? Could they just start doing other things to your keywords? I get the fact that somebody's kind of meddling in there. But other people are saying, like, with Performance Max, if you have that keyword listed, it should take precedence over Performance Max. So some people are saying that could lead to more Performance Max, but they stopped that by not making those keywords eligible anyway because of low search volume. So I don't think that's the play either. But to me, I mean, you got no impressions in 13 months. This shouldn't be the huge deal. Like, maybe go find some keywords that people are looking for.
Is there a way to see what was automatically paused by Google versus what was manually paused?
That's the big thing, is that some Google changes don't make it into the change history. And we just actually talked about this on Marketing Clock. Like, I love it if they want to make some of these changes, and that's coming out tomorrow, actually Friday. So I love it if they make these changes, but it just would be really helpful to see. So some of the auto-applied recommendations can be, like, really tricky if things are changed one way or another. It would just be really, really helpful to say in that change history, this was automatically paused by Google due to low impressions. And I think that's something that sometimes gets a little bit lost in translation, is making sure you can see what human did it, and then also making sure, hey, your system did it. Let's notate that.
I was going to say, I think also like this is something that's going to be important for seasonal businesses because I think it's interesting that they said 13 months because sometimes things happen annually, so that gives you like a little bit of leeway in terms of seasonality. But there's going to be some times where like maybe you're not running the service for a little while. Like for instance, if you and I doubt that we're going to have something like this, but like during COVID, maybe you're not running it for this year. Maybe not even for 16 months or something, but maybe like you are running it later and you just kind of want to keep the ads
solar
ticking
eclipse
along.
glasses. I mean,
Right.
that happens
Yeah.
all the time.
Right.
But what about when it comes back in 22 years, Barry?
That's the issue. I'm saying
That's the
this is an
problem.
issue. I'm gonna go to Ginny. That's it. We're gonna get this taken care of.
Yeah, we need a solar eclipse glasses union against Google.
And I need
Ads.
coupons for those. So I'm gonna go to Forbes.com/coupons and find my. I can't do that anymore. Forbes actually 410, not just 404, 410, the more serious 404.
Permanent. It's forever.
Forever. And the coupons directory is gone. I think a few weeks ago they actually blocked it using the X robots tag, and now they decided, you know what, we're not going to block it anymore. We're going to just go ahead and just wipe it clean. They removed it from their site navigation, I think 4 or 5 days ago, and then they just completely nuked the whole entire directory. It's still listed in Google. If you do a site command, Forbes.com/coupons, you'll still see them come up for a certain amount of time until Google actually gets rid of them. But that's some, like, I think other sites are doing this as well because they're all terrified, completely terrified of Google's new site reputation abuse policy being enforced both algorithmically and manual actions, because they have people like Mordy going out there just hitting spam.
That's what I do.
Good thing you do it. But could people recover, Mordy?
Well, I mean, technically, I guess anything is possible.
What do you mean?
Says John Mueller. No, he didn't actually say that. John was asked, by the way, just on that last article, kind of shows you the power of those manual actions from earlier in March, right?
Right.
Get the crap out of people. I'm scared.
Are you?
That's got nothing to do with
Did you
manual
remove it from that website you made about me? All those coupons in the site?
Yeah, I was on my Barry site. I was gonna start selling content now. I
You gotta make
should.
some money off of that.
Yeah, who'd be interested? Anyway, John said that someone asked John, is this still the case that Google doesn't hold grudges against websites? John's like, of course we don't hold grudges against websites, meaning that you can actually recover from an algorithm update. In this case, they were asking about the helpful content update. And John basically said, yes, it might take a lot of time and a lot of effort, and you might take another update for it to come around. But this kind of comes in context of no one seeing any of the websites hit by the HCU back in September, seeing a recovery. So it's like, okay, John's saying that you could recover, but no one's seen any evidence of this. I've been talking to a bunch of folks. I don't know who I can name or not name, but one of the issues that I think is going on that this person was saying is like Google hasn't really figured out exactly how to go about using this classifier. And I think it's my personal speculation. What's been going on is, and I think we mentioned it before on this show, I don't think Google threw out the HCU. I think it's like the Model T to cars. You don't throw out the Model T. You build upon it and make the next generation, make the next generation, make the next generation. Whatever technology Google used in order to start classifying content as helpful or unhelpful is the foundation, I think, of the multiple ways that they're analyzing helpfulness.
I just want to say on record, I think I saw it burning next to my boxes by the Passover section. I'm just saying, the HCU.
You saw it burning?
I saw it in a dumpster burning.
That was a distraction. It was to fool you to thinking that it was really gone.
Got it.
Uh-huh. But
you think it's what did Glenn Gabe posted something like that too recently?
Yeah. So I don't think it's like, again, it's like they said it's not the same thing, but I don't like. They invested in all this technology. They made this new thing that can classify helpfulness in whatever way. They didn't throw it in the garbage. They built upon it. And that's why I think you're seeing, I think Glenn actually showed this, that websites who have been hit by the HCU have also, back in September, have also seen further degradations in their rankings with this one, because it's building upon it's the technology being built upon. It's not a completely new way of assessing helpfulness. It may be multiple ways, improved ways, but just like the card today, it's not fundamentally different than the Model T. I don't think it is. I mean, maybe it is. But you get what I'm saying. I'm sorry there's no Darth Vader reference today, Finn. But I don't think the way they're assessing helpfulness is categorically different than the HCU was, and that's why you're seeing no sites recovering and sites that were impacted getting further negatively impacted. But I guess what John is saying is technically possible.
Technically, so it was intentional. Google hit them with a bat over and over again in September. Then they were like laughing at them for the past several months, and then March came along and they decided to like just like dig a hole and then stuff them in that hole.
Well, I was going to compare it more to, you know, like burning their website along with the matzah and the lulav, but yeah, what you're saying works too.
Yeah.
Do we think that it's possible that there are certain like types of website that Google might think are fundamentally unhelpful?
I know of one.
Yeah.
Name names.
I'm not going to name names, but it starts with I think it's a meme website.
Right. I don't.
How's that ranking?
BarrySEOmemes.com.
How's it ranking? You checked SEMrush?
It's doing well. Yeah, actually, it improved for the keyword Barry Schwartz, or who is Barry Schwartz?
Something is wrong with Google search quality. Greg, right?
There's great content on there. We could find out things about your likes and dislikes, your ability to shoot a hockey puck, whether or not you're related to Eli Schwartz. There's a lot of good information there. Whether or not you're Catholic or not, a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, and just piggybacking off some of that stuff, Glenn had actually turned that into a blog post. It's a great one over at gsqi.com, G Squared Interactive, and it covered a bunch of different things, and then also covered like that form, right? And there are so many people that are getting, slaughtered, like Barry said, and stuffed in a hole, and it reminds me of my favorite Chewbacca quote is always submit the form after a core update, like actually go do that. So he had a couple examples where there wasn't a pretty specific error that was costing about $600,000 to $800,000 in like a 6-week span, and was able to correct that. So I would just say like, hey, there's a form. Who knows where it goes? Who knows what happens to those forms? But at least you have something. And it didn't seem like too many people were filling that out, right, Barry?
I don't know. Polls on Twitter or X or polls on X. So who knows what they really mean. But I think they probably have a ton of responses, but I would say the majority of SEOs did not fill it out. I mean, except for Mordy, everybody else probably here has not.
I just filled it out with spam and nonsense.
Certainly from what you see, like I would often see like on Google Webmaster Hangouts on the Friday, like back in the day, people would be like, oh, I don't understand why my site is not ranking and stuff. And then they'd share their domain and I'd be like, well, let me just look at your website as well. And a lot of time you'd be like, well, yeah, I can see exactly, like within about 30 seconds, you can see exactly why the site's not ranking. And I think like Google's kind of doing that. And I think they're just being a bit like really, really strict with it. And I think that if people have, I don't know, I think it can be really tricky when people have like an ethos that's a little bit in that way in the first place. It's kind of tricky to recover because otherwise you have to do a complete rebuild of your whole situation.
I still think they're trying to figure out what helpfulness is and how to go about figuring it out and implementing it. It's still in very early stages. No, I don't.
You think like Glenn, he's been tracking like what 400, 500 different websites that were hit by specifically that September update, and not one single site. I have tons of angry people on Search Engine Roundtable, like the most angry SEOs you can find. Maybe not as angry as people on Reddit, maybe, but they're pretty angry. And not one of them, a lot of them were hit by this update, and not one of them recovered, and they just keep getting hurt more. So I was hoping to see one recovery, and maybe we'll see it tomorrow. Maybe
the next day. By the way, Glenn's article has the best way of describing, great analogy in there, by the way, what a core update is. So you should read the article. And then thank you all so much. We are not doing this tomorrow, but definitely check out the Marketing O'Clock channel and maybe my Friday video where I talk super fast. And everyone have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys on Monday. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.